the occasion of the birthday of Master Sisulu, but a warm welcome to all of us here that have come to honor this great leader of our movement and this patriot of our country. I'm now going to hand over to Comrade TK Ngisa, the Provincial Secretary of the ANC in the province, who will then do the welcome address on behalf of the province, and then we will proceed with our program. Comrade TK.
Mandla, awethu, viva ANC, viva, oh ibambe, oh ibambe, City, oh ibambe, oh ibambe, hey city, oh yo yo, hey sepam, salava, hey we mama senko, ay yo, yo yo yo. Oh, salava faziwe mama, mama siso. Oh, ibambe, oh, ibambe, city. Oh, ibambe, oh, ibambe. Hey city, oh yo yo, oh salava faziwe mama, ay yo, yo yo, oh salava faziwe mama, ay yo, mama siso, Mandla. Away, two. Long live the spirit of Mama Sisulu, long live. Long live the spirit of Mama Sisulu, long live. Viva African National Congress, viva. Viva African National Congress, viva. Viva Women's League, viva. Aihlangane Kosatu, aihlangane. Wathinta abafazi, wathinta imbokodo, wena wathinta abafazi, wena wathinta imbokodo, wena wathinta abafazi, wena wathinta imbokodo. Roar, young lions, roar. Roar, young lions, roar. Viva Veterans League, viva. Viva Veterans League, viva. Mandla. Away, two. Mandla. Away, two. Qina African National Congress, Qina. Qina ANC, Qina. Unite African National Congress, unite. Thank you very much. Angkale ngokubulisa or greetings to Comrade Phoebe. Comrade Phoebe, sound. Sabotage. Ngiyabazi bangiqale. Chief Sund sabotage. Greetings to the Sisulu family. I think that's where we must start. And we really thank you for honoring this important lecture. Greetings to the National Executive Committee of the ANC, which is led by Comrade Phoebe, who's our NEC leader. Greetings to the SG of the Women's League, a very vibrant leader. Siyayibona niyayakha i-Women's League. Iqhubeni maqabane. Greetings Greetings to the provincial leadership of the ANC, in the province. I think it's only me who's here. It's discipline. Greetings to the leadership of the Women's League, led by Comrade Telisam Gweba and Comrade Faith Chovicho. Mandla. Angbolise amagatsha kaKhongolo sephelele. The branches of the ANC, the basic unit of the movement. Ngibulisa nina maqabana. Mandla. Comrades, ngibulisa abafundisi, bantu bomoya. ANC, the organization that was started in church. So at all material conditions, we'll always go back to our knees and pray to God for strength. That's the organization that we believe in. Siyabulela bantu bomoya. Comrades, we are here to honor and to celebrate a hero of our movement. We are here to celebrate a woman of honor. Umama unomonde, umama unonhlonipho, a woman who carried this nation under difficult circumstances. We would not have the leaders that we have if it was not that generation. Yabo mama Albertina Sisulu, or mama Winnie Mandela. This leader fought up until there's a conference arose when we were back here at home, fighting for the 50-50 for women emancipation in the ANC. She was in the forefront of that struggle, comrades. But we're speaking about a selfless leader. A leader who understands that as a leader, you are not just a leader because you lead the ANC, but you must be found amongst your people. Kokela bantu bako. Be a ground force and be respected by your people before you tell us you are a leader. That's Comrade Mama Albertina Sisulu for you. Who, if it was not for the apartheid, it's such people that must have led the ANC at the level of top 6. Because they were lovers of the ANC. They were in love with the ANC. But most of all, they were in love with the people of South Africa. A true revolutionary must be led by the spirit of love. That's a true revolutionary. Awuzukhokhela abantu ngabathandi, uzibize inkokheli. Comrades, we are from very difficult elections. A blame game is not going to help anyone. It's not going to help anyone. In fact, it will divide the ANC even further. The African National Congress must learn from those who understood what renewal was from the early 80s. The ANC is not facing the problem for the first time, Comrade Phip. We have faced this problem many times, where we have a problem of really declining as the African National Congress. What does leadership do? We close rank. We don't allow the enemy to enter. We fight together, we move as a block. No one must ever grandstand in the organization. Comrades, in the 30s, the ANC realized, especially led by Comrade Albertina Sisulu, later in the 30s, going into the 40s, that they had a problem. They needed to revive the ANC. That's why you find the ANC Youth League in 1944 that came with a program of action. That was the renewal of the ANC. It forms the Women's League because it understands the role of women in struggle. Because it understands that if we don't have women in the forefront of our struggle, we're going to suffer as the African National Congress. And women get given their space. That program is led by Comrade President Oliver Tambo. In commissions, he rose and he said, we need to have a women's league. He's the president of the ANC. Understanding the role that was being played at the time by women of resilience, like Mama Sisulu. Comrades, I'm raising these issues because it is important to understand that a setback is just a setback. It depends on how we respond and how we push the enemy back. We're busy with the program of renewal as the African National Congress. That's our response. Go and build branches that must serve the people, not only branches that must serve you to be elected in the ANC. Let's strengthen the regions of the ANC and the provinces of the ANC. Let's work together in making this organization of Mama Albertina Sisulu stronger. Let's not speak past each other. Let's be disciplined. The love for the ANC does not start with you because you are a leader. The love of the ANC is with the people because it's their liberator. Stop wanting to take a branch of the ANC and want to bargain with it. It must serve the people of your ward. It must serve the people of this country. That's what the branch of the ANC must do. When we talk about this renewal, comrades, it's not going to be easy. From leadership itself, as we talk about it, we also don't understand it. Because renewal states that you can't use the old ways and renew the ANC. Lando yethu yophatha idata. Sithi sakha umbutho. Lando yethu yolwa ngama projects. People see us as divided. The ANC must come to an end, comrades. Let's go to sectors. Let's invite people to come to the ANC because it is not ours, it's their ANC. So we want to see you doing that work, comrades. We will go door to door, branch by branch. I am not the main speaker. I am not the main speaker. We are preparing for 2026. We must make our forebearers proud by building an organization of the people. Let's go on the ground, comrades, in the name of our mother, in the name of people who fought for the struggle and work for the people. We want to ask our councillors, let's call council meeting, let's go and service our people. We want to promise the national leadership that as this province, we are preparing a very strong army of people, a very strong army of cadres, selfless cadres, who are going to 2026. Bayobuyisa isithunzi se-ANC. Amandla, awethu, mayibuye i-ANC, mayibuye. Qina mama, qina. Long live the spirit of Mama Sisulu, long live. Mandla. Thank you very much, comrades.
Thank you very much to our Nobala, Comrade TK. Can we give him a round of thanks? Comrades, we will proceed with our program, and I want to start off by acknowledging by name the members of the Sisulu family that are here. Comrade Elliot, who is a nephew in the family. Comrade Sipho, who's also another nephew. And Comrade Vusi, that's a great-grandchild. Very welcome. We are really, really honored and pleased to have you here. Thank you very much for being with us. I also want to acknowledge the Women's League Provincial Secretary, Comrade Teliswe, the Women's League RTT in Joburg, convener and coordinator, Comrade Nsiki and Comrade Melody, representatives from MK Liberation War veterans, the Youth League, as well as our councillors and the Veterans League. Comrades, you are all welcome, and we're really glad to have you at this memorial lectures. I spoke earlier about the legacy of Ma Albertina Sisulu. But one of the other things about her is that this year we are celebrating how many years of the ANC Youth League? Are there any young lions here? 70 years? 80 years, wow. Okay, I'm 10 years months. We're celebrating 80 years of the ANC Youth League. And in 1944, when the Youth League had their Congress at the Bantuman's Social Club, there was one woman there present. Who do you think it was? Ma Sisulu. She went along with Uncle Walter Sisulu, and she was the only woman delegate present at the launch of the ANC Youth League. So when we talk about leaders and founders of the ANC Youth League, we want to see Ma Sisulu's picture up there along with Mandela and Tambo and Sisulu and Lembede, because she was part of the founders of the ANC Youth League. In addition to that, comrades, Ma Sisulu also in 1954 was part of a very historic conference, and this year we are celebrating 70 years since that conference, which is the launch of the Federation of South African Women in 1954. And what women did at that conference in 1954 was to draw up a women's charter. Now, 1954, which year was after 1954? 1955. And which document was adopted in 1955? The Freedom Charter. So which one came first? The Women's Charter. And in fact, the way that the women went about to draft the Women's Charter influenced the Freedom Charter. So women indeed were pioneers, and Ma Sisulu was part of that generation that drafted the Women's Charter. She went on in the 1960s, when the ANC was banned, to be part of forming the first structures of the ANC underground in the country. When Comrade Madiba and Tate Sisulu were in Robben Island, Comrade Ouar Tambo and others were in exile, she started to form some of the first underground structures of the ANC in the country, being banned as she was. In 1983, she became the president of the UDF along with Comrade Archie Gumede. And remember, that time she was still banned. But she didn't say, no, don't do this because I'm going to be arrested. She said, no, if the people say that I must take up this responsibility, then I'm ready to put up my hand. And she served as president of the UDF, even though she was banned. She campaigned, she organized, she mobilized the people, she united the people, even under the conditions of banning. So she played a very important role in our struggle, and we will come to the other roles that she's played. But before I do that, I want to also just recall one very important role that she played. In 1994, after the ANC won elections, 1994, so our comrades went to Parliament, and we then had to elect a president, because Parliament elect the president. So guess who was it that nominated the president? The ANC had the confidence on her because she was a member of Parliament of the ANC, and she put up her hand when, I don't know who the Chief Justice was at the time, probably somebody from the old guard. When the Chief Justice called for nominations, she put up her hand and said, I nominate, my name is Albertina Sisulu, I nominate Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela as the President of the Republic. And of course we know the rest is history. Parliament voted for Comrade Nelson Mandela to become our first president, but that nomination was Ma Sisulu. And that's just a few of the examples of the roles that she's played in our struggle in post-1994 until her passing in 2011. I'm now going to hand over to Comrade Chairperson of the ANC Women's League in the province, to introduce our very vibrant keynote speaker to tell us about her, our leader of the ANC Women's League, Comrade Faith Mazibuka. I'm handing you over to you to introduce our keynote speaker.
Sisulu aekhona emzabalazwe Sisulu aekhona emzabalazwe 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 Sisulu aekhona emzabalazwe Sisulu aekhona emzabalazwe 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 Sisulu aekhona emzabalazwe Sisulu aekhona emzabalazwe 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 Sisulu aekhona emzabalazwe Sisulu aekhona emzabalazwe 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 Sisulu aekhona emzabalazwe Sisulu aekhona emzabalazwe 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 Malibongwe Malibongwe wathinta abafazi wathinta abafazi long live the spirits of Sisulu long live the spirits of Albertina Sisulu long live amandla 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 wathinta abafazi wathinta abafazi wathinta imbokodo wathinta abafazi hey 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 wathinta abafazi basopa basopa Thank you very much, Program Director, Comrade Phoebe Potgieter. I call her the watering can. Yeah, in Afrikaans, the Potgieter. Let me acknowledge our Secretary General, Comrade Noguthula Nqaba. Let me acknowledge the Provincial Secretary of the ANC, Comrade TK Nziza. Let me acknowledge our Provincial Secretary, Comrade Telly Comrade Mota, who's the Deputy Chairperson, and Comrade Loiso, who's the Deputy Regional Secretary. Let me acknowledge the PEC member that is also here, not wearing uniform. Comrade Mandisa Mafuna. Let me acknowledge the RTT leadership that is here, Comrade Melody and Comrade Ntsigi, and other RTT members that are sitting amongst yourselves there. Let me acknowledge abafundisi, acknowledging the family of Sisulu. Let me acknowledge all the branches. Net Dinosa is here. The president of Dinosa is here. Sisulu was a nurse by profession. Namhlanje niyangibona nami ngifana naye. Faki wiki lakhe namhlanje. Let me acknowledge amasebe, all the branches that are here. Nabathi amandla semasebeni, they are talking about you. Amandla akuphi? There you go. Ungaba PC member, ungaba RC member, RTT. The basic unit of the organization is the branch. I'm here to introduce Iyanga Yanga. For the first time as the Women's League, we were able to elect a young person to be the Secretary General. And we asked Nainasim Kwachisa cities but now. But because she was elected, all of us have to respect her. She is a young woman that grew up in the structures of this ANC. Khona leculo nasilcula sithi umawushiya lenhlangano ubani ozofakaza ngayo. Siyakwazi ubhala umlando ngabanye babo, including SG. She also grew up in the students' movement. So I see overnight microwave popcorn leader. Suka gude. She has led even at university level. Led in the Youth League, and now she's leading the Women's League. Even in the ANC, she has been a leader. My comrade, let me introduce our Secretary General to come and address us. Comrade Unokuthula Ngaba. Bayibiza ngale duko zabo mina ngisazi sakhe. SG lagi. SG, the platform is yours. Amandla, viva ANC, 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 viva. Viva the ANC Women's League, viva. Watinta bafazi, watinta imbokodo. Viva the ANC Youth League, viva. Viva the Alliance Partners, viva. Viva the Veterans League, viva. Amandla. Greetings to the program director, the national officials, and NEC members of the ANC present, veterans of our movement,
the leadership of the ANC Women's League at all levels of the structures of the Women's League, the ANC members of the ANC Youth League, the NEC members of the ANC Youth League, the national leadership of our alliance component, the MDM and civil society structures present, the clergy, and most importantly, the special greetings to the Sisulu family. On this day in 1918, a daughter of the soil was born in the rural outskirts of the Eastern Cape province, from a humble family of migrant laborers. Like many black South Africans of her generation, she grew up under a colonial system which determined the kind of life a black child should lead. Mama Albertina Sisulu was soon to realize the state of affairs in the socio-economic and political spheres of influence and moved to Johannesburg in search of greener pastures. However, this giant of our revolution associated herself with the struggle to untangle the social and political contradictions which relegated the majority of this country into lesser human beings. She rose to political prominence through her commitment to the struggle for the liberation of women in particular. Sisulu played her role in the formation of the Federation of South African Women, FEDSO. This was a union of various associations and broad civil society structures of women who decided to take up arms against a system of segregation and discrimination on the basis of race and gender at the time. Sisulu formed part of the collective that led the historic 1956 march to the then seat of government in Pretoria to challenge the mighty Straydom administration as they refused to carry passes in the land of their birth. This march intensified the struggles of women across the color and the racial divide, but a united force to advance the emancipation of women from the triple challenges of poverty, unemployment, and visible inequality. We are currently still faced with similar challenges as we talk about the cost of living that is too high, as well as the high rate of unemployment with the face of a woman, more so those that are in rural areas. Sisulu became a beacon of hope when our leaders were exiled and sent us on Robben Island, and she was instrumental in the formation of one of the most powerful mass-based movements in the history of this country. When the United Democratic Front, UDF, was formed, Sisulu became one of its founding leaders, and she became one of the most prominent political figures of this mass-based organization. From 1991 to 1993, she became the first deputy president of the African National Congress Women's League after the unbanning. This gentle giant can only be honored when we emulate her good deeds of unimaginable commitment to the struggle against all forms of oppression, particularly against women. The abolishment of patriarchy in all its manifestations is the only accolade that we can confer to this colossal woman of our revolution. Sisulu and her generation laid the foundation and confronted a vicious regime. These elephantine women waged war with the most powerful army in the history of this country, and their resilience fight delivered us to the freedom of today. In her memory, therefore, we must intensify the fight against the contemporary challenges that we find ourselves confronted with in 2024. The scourge of gender-based violence and the brutality meted out on South African women on daily basis is certainly not the freedom that Sisulu and her peers fought for. A free, non-racial, non-sexist, democratic and prosperous society can never be attained when 15 women gets ambushed and butchered without mercy in a family gathering in Lusukisiki in the Eastern Cape. When blood-thirsty farmers who go on a rampage and fatally shot women, then throw them to the pigs for feasting, as if they are disposable consumables. When our country is awarded by international gender institutions a notorious accolade as a rape capital of the world, it is confirmed by the recent reports and statistics internationally that indeed our country is being categorized as a rape capitalist of the world. When women continue to make headlines, when the South African Police Service crime statistic data is issued each and every quarter of the year, when a high-ranking police officer gets bail in DR in the Northern Cape after allegedly raping a neighboring 15-year-old girl, when we are confronted with rising incidents of teenage pregnancy, which translate in Eastern Cape are leading as confirmed by reports and recent statistics on this matter. When our children die from consuming the contaminated snacks from local spaza shops, we fully support the initiative of the Department of Health and all other relevant departments in doing inspection on all local spaza shops as they did recently in Soweto. And as a strong force, as we continuously saying, starting this program, that watinda bafazi, watinda imbokodo, uzofa, finish. Those that they own the spaza shops, be it foreign nationals or locals, don't test us as women of this country. When you kill our children, you actually destroy the future leaders of this country. At some point, we will be left with no choice but to accept the challenge. And only the time will tell. Mama Sisulu was a social transformation agent and a pioneer of people's rights, with her special focus on the triple challenges of women. We must therefore realize Mama Sisulu's objective. That the ANC Women's League, therefore, remembers this gentle giant, and we shall never defer the fight for emancipation and full liberation of women. As we celebrate the life and time of this towering woman on the occasion of her birthday, we owe it to the generations to follow that we emulate her resilience in ensuring that her legacy lives on. As women of this glorious movement, we dare not fail her as we firmly stand on her shoulders. As we embark in the process of renewing the organization, we must be serious about reuniting our members so as to rebuild a stronger structure at a branch level with more programs relevant to the needs of our people in preparation for 2026 local government elections. We must therefore realize Mama Sisulu's objective when she said, I quote, "Women are the people who are going to relieve us from all this oppression and depression. In doing so, may her immortal soul continue to guide our actions." As women of this glorious movement, we dare not fail her. we demand to be the ward councillors in majority. Much as the succession debate has not started or opened yet, I saw the document by the SG on the matter that is guiding us. But it will be very cowardice of us as the volunteers of this movement, as we came out in numbers at this time of the night on a Monday, leaving our children alone in a society that is very brutal and hostile to us as women, and children to be targeted. But we then decided to take a risk because of the love that we have for this organization. We will be failing Mamu Sisulu if towards the 29th May 2024, we went out in numbers, crisscrossed the country, visible in all our communities as women, without any expectation in return. But because we understood the cause and we took it upon our shoulders that it can't be in our name that we fail those that fought for this liberation. It will be very selfish of us that in 2026, as we have already launched the campaign and refused to drop the momentum and leave the fertile ground, as we have worked hard towards the general elections, and we have declared as Women's League that the 29th May 2024 general elections was just a launching pad to prepare the ground for 2026. Indeed, Mamu Sisulu, may her soul rest in peace, she never thought that at this time we will be talking a different language as we lead in government of a GNU, which was once used as a strategic or a tactical move at a particular time when we were to be governed for the first time as the ANC in this country. That was 1994. No one knew that in 2024, as we celebrate the 30 years of our democracy, we will be part of a generation that when we look back, we doubt if we will be able to save this organization and take it back to its former glory. We've been observing Comrade TK. You see, when our comrades, the male counterparts, we love them dearly, because indeed we can't be enemies with them, because we come from the very same family. For us to be members of the ANC Women's League in good standing, we start by being members of the ANC. And we go through the very same process of a probation of 6 months to be confirmed that indeed we are leaders that to be accepted into the membership of the ANC. But strange enough, comrade, and if we don't talk about these things in these platforms where we talk about the life and the time of Mamu Sisulu and many other leaders that are no longer with us, that Comrade TK, I will make an example because you're the one who is here. It is not because you are targeted. You come and stand here, comrades, as male counterparts, and you know it for a fact that we have failed our forebears, because they the ones that fought even before the formation of the ANC Women's League. when they fought for the recognition and the full emancipation and empowerment and the liberation of women. They had hope that only not the women that would understand and appreciate the significance of a struggle of a woman within that of many struggles of the movement. But the very same comrades of our own, they find it very easy to praise us, only to go out Mamu Sisulu, siyokwenza door to door. When it comes to leadership positions, be it in government, be it in the private sector, with the last option. When you want to be elected in positions of power, again we understand, comrades, we grew up, they've said, in this movement, we have served in so many structures. We did not come to be leaders by chance. So we understand why Abo Mamu Sisulu, Abo Mamu Winnie, Abo Mamu Charlotte Maxeke, Abo Mamu Sophie Tigrain, why at the time they left their professions and they had a choice of focusing to what they studied for, to better their lives and become selfish and self-centered. But they decided to do the opposite, to fight for our liberation. Not only that of women, but of all of us in this country. We today talk about the freedom of movement, where we don't have to produce the pass for us to be able to move from one province to another. If it wasn't about those women of the time to stand together, irrespective of your political formation, irrespective of your background and your comfort, irrespective of your color, they said, all women, let's come together and liberate ourselves, not in our soil of birth, that we can be dictated where and how to move. So today in the ANC, we have proven beyond doubts that as women, we can save this movement. We have done it not long ago in May. You talk of 40%. If you look in terms of the statistic of those that came out as voters in numbers, it is women. But again, in the National Assembly, we are not in majority. In the cabinet, we also fell short. In other provinces where we had majority, we had to fight for the recognition. We had to educate and remind the ANC about its own principles of 60-40. Where umntongtata if many opportunity through our sweat to be a premier. Then we were reduced to nothing and were made to fight hard, to be recognized. When the ANC leadership from other provinces forgot and undermined its own principles of 60-40. Today, we fought successfully, Bomama. Sayiwina la battle. Impumalanga namhlanje ino 60-40, 60% ngomama, 40% ngodada. In Northwest namhlanje ino 60-40, 60% ngomama, 40% ngodada. Siyay observer ke comrade uTK. And if mhlambi women's league ngoba kudala ikhona leader, siyayazi futhi uba ngumbutho omkhulu kakhulu in the continent in terms of information yemibutho yomama. We are the biggest, not only in South Africa but in the continent. So xa sithetha ngoMama uSisulu Maqabane, ngoba babengalwelanga thina, we can't talk about the history and forget about what is happening today. to build our own future and that of the next generations to come. So, Comrade TK, uyayibona le ndlu igcwele ngale mini kaMama uSisulu. Noba ungabizi event nangomso, in case ulibele namhlanje ku Monday and it's the evening. What you continuously doing, undermining the work of these women that fought for us and for our recognition in the movement. We must remind you that women's league kudali khona kudali leader, but this time around neza uvu moya. We are not going to work for you, comrades. We are tired of working for you, comrades. We are tired of being made to be enemies and fight amongst ourselves. And as women, we must be like Abo Mama uSisulu of the time, when it was not fashionable to lead. When to lead at the time, it meant death. Because there was no deployment that they knew that will happen at the time. Because we were not to govern anything. So, makutwa local niyenzile sinibukele. Ngoku, go 2024, sisebenze nzima. Singalali. Niphethe. Niyazincoma ubana ngabe iGNU ilidwa nini. Xa ilidwa nini siyavuma nathi siyayilida because sisi members ANC. Kodwa ni majority against the population of the country, which is dominated by women. Asizomfama ke ndasingobakhwetha. Sidiniwe kuqhwabela nina. It is high time, comrades. It is high time that as we move forward, go 2026, iyaphela ibhayisikophi yoba sibe sinyuka sisehla singalali sisebenze lo ward council abangotata. Asideclare war. Asideclare war. Not eyezigalo ngoba asingobantu bempi. Kodwa sizanibonisa ke maqabane. And ningathi khange siniwonishe, Comrade uFibi, gone are those days that in structures of the ANC, because that's where the problem starts. Where in structures of the ANC, Mama uSisulu balwela into obana ngaba we must be recognized and lead. Remember, when the ANC was formed in 1912, there was no structure called ANC Women's League. Women, by the way, then were not even allowed to lead in structures of the movement. They were not even allowed to be members. They had to be given a right and be permitted by male comrades that were leading at the time. We had to go and subject ourselves for us to be given an opportunity and our potential capabilities, the skills, to be realized and appreciated. Some male comrades had to sit somewhere and decide that without them, there's nothing that we can do. Therefore, we are going to allow them to join the ANC. Later on, we were then given an opportunity to form our own organization. Who did that? We were at the mercy of a Dadabe movement. It can be, comrades. You can't have a municipality that has a ward councillor. If by 80, babe 70 or ward councillor, ibe ngabantu abangotata, or mama, babe only 10 or 4 or 1. Kodwa sithi abasebenzayo. We're doing this, comrade, in case you ninekhala nicinga ba siya shifter from the purpose of today. Siphakuyo. Siya apithole lifele khona. Siklanto yo Mama uSisulu abasekho, siya appreciate role yabo. Siyayivuma futhi ubana ngaba sikulento sikuyo kuthiwa ithathe le way iyaphilisa. Kuthiwa inabungozi ngaphila ngayo. Kufika ixesha sizayithatha le way. Ayinabungozi. Sizayibona apha kuthi ubiyabulala. Asokuxelelwa ngomnye umuntu. Women comrades, members of the Women's League, stop the pull down syndrome. Stop the jealousy amongst ourselves. Let's stop fighting against each other. Because as we continue doing that, the men, they take that opportunity. They exploit it for their own benefit and their own selfishness. We love them. Siyabathanda abalochaba lethu. The succession debate ayikaqali. And ayizoqalwa sithi we are just a league of the ANC. But Comrade TK, see majority. And anizoyifunda emaphepheni from statistics. Uyayibona, uyayazi emasebeni. Makusonyulwa i-leadership. Sizayiphila esa struggle so mama uSisulu. Makusonyulwa i-leadership siqale esebeni. It is not compulsory. It is not a must. It is not by design. Uba esebeni ifuneka utata abe ngu-chairperson, utata abe ngu-secretary. We were never baptized. We were never baptized. Get understanding. Yantobana ngaba uchairperson no secretary at a regional level funeka ibe ngumntu ongutata. Kwi province uchairperson no secretary permanent and standard. Comrade TK, the time has arrived. The time is now. It is our time. The future is us. We've been observing and we've been quiet for too long. We have allowed the patriarchal system to be instilled in our minds. It is our opportune time to break the shackles and to deal with that mentality. No one else is going to do that for us as women. When we were imposed by the past laws, no man stood up for us. Only Abo Mamu Sisulu, Nabo Charlotte Makleke, that stood up and fight for our liberation and made it a point that we are able to be free. And it will be disingenuous of all of you as these women if you think that this male that are seated here will liberate you. It is not true. It is not possible. By the way, a document must be developed and platform be created that we be toe to toe and we talk politics. We must be proven beyond doubt the capacity, the leadership skills that our male counterparts that they possess, and they seem to be having better than us as the female and women. There's nothing but rhetoric. Abantu abangodata bamapha basifundekele ngezlogan babe besikhumshela into eninzi uba una data awukwazi uyiguglisha uyive babathini na. Sibe si excited nathi. You know where it starts, comrade? It's when a leader engutata kwi event yomuntu ongumama, you find it very comfortable uba nicule ni right nimculele nibe excited. Kodwa xa kuzophakama umuntu ongumama kube madolwa nzima nibe ne stress. Iqala apho maqabani yipart ya pull down syndrome, where you find it very comfortable ube excited. Comrade TK viva yathetha inkokeli. Makume utshovicho apho kanye ucomrade uFiphi niyawumzela nine discussion nihlele ezifonini, you don't show interest. Ke event ebizwa ngomuntu ongumama ningabona into wrong. Asinisoli yila system ye patriarchy, yila system ya instilwa apha ezingqondweni zethu bana ngaba it's all about abantu abangodata and everything revolves around them. And if ayingabo ayikho enye into kufika ixesha maqabane nisezaziluza i-list processes if unihlelele ubana ngaba abantu abazawunirepresenta badile ngo-20% izabantu ngabantu abangotata, because the interest yabo in the main, it's not about you growing as women. They are very selfish and self-centered. Bazawuhlala eboardroom bayuze 20%, athi amasebe evotile eninominatile nikwi-top 20, asuka abantu abangotata bahlale because bango-chairperson no secretary. Xa bebheka ku-national bayitshintshe list because they are ex-official members. When they go there, they don't have the interest. You don't want to see when they make fun of us, when they make jokes about us as we move around and lobby. We have to come to our comrade to TK. Be on our knees. Beg them to accommodate women. Mamelani makabani, mamelani. Kalemini kamama usisulu. It is not the first time that we are getting an opportunity to address you ningomama. Siyakwazi futhi nuzicreate li platform singomama. Sayeka comrade TK ugcwalisa amaholo because crowd pullers ngotata. We are crowd pullers ourselves for our own event. Singayisusa nanini sithanda. Ngalemini kamama usisulu. Ngalemini kamama usisulu. As you leave this venue, nithathe le sacrifice yoba nize apha ngobusuku. Godukani niyi group. Ngoba niyazithanda nina mos ningabantu be groups ningomama. But kanibe ile group i-objective in terms of thinking. Kanibe ile group i-prioritizer omama banesakhono. Naphaya emsebenzini wakho xa ungumntu ongumama onikwe iposition estrategic, multiply man. Multiply lo msebenzi umhle ubuwenzwe komama uSisulu. Andithi sitsho sithi spirit sabo masisiguide. Make sikuguide nawe pha ku government okanye kwi private sector uyibona ibalulekile into ba umuntu ongumama xa nesakhono ungafili inferior, umoyike, umbone enokuncedisa, nicomplementane, nincedise isizwe. Qala kancinci, qala pha esebeni. Qala pha esebeni maqabane. Xa nigenga against each other, nidityaniswa ngentloko, nisilwa, niliswa ngumuntu ongutata oyi-1. Nibe affection, nigossipe against another woman. We've been preaching this gospel, comrades, and we repeat, comrades, that as we appreciate ifamily kamama uSisulu, sifuna niyazi ifamily kamama uSisulu kuba sifunde a lot. And we know, stealing from the words of the provincial secretary of the ANC in the province, Comrade TK earlier on xa ibe kwi-podium, uthe if ibingeyiyo imisebenzi yomama uSisulu, kwathina as a product of a young women's desk ye-Women's League, we wouldn't be standing here. Ngesingayithethi le politiki siyithethayo. Besingazoba nabo omama uFiphi that are allowed to be given an opportunity to come and facilitate i-program ethetha ngomuntu omkhulu kangaka uComrade umama uSisulu. Sifuna ifamily ithi xa ihamba imki yazi ubana ngaba politically we are alive. We are very awake. We understand the current challenges of the ANC. That unity and the implementation of the program of renewal, it is very important. Let's start now, comrade, and get out of our comfort zones. Let's start now, comrade, as we talk renewal. Let's talk rebuilding. Let's talk unity. Today we have breakaways that made us to be at 40%. The GNU, whilst many of us battled to understand when it started, Comrade Ufepi. But now we know why we talk GNU. We can even articulate that narrative of GNU better than those that led the process to convince the opposition partners in the GNU. We now know that we must appreciate and respect our wrong doings all the things that we've been doing fighting against each other, all the things that we have been doing to undermine the importance yes service delivery, oceba umtatheni kwi responsibility under the banner ye ANC, umbutho omkhulu olwelwe ngomama uSisulu nabanye abaninzi that I can't always mention them today ngoba namhlanje celebrate birthday kaMama uSisulu, but xa si celebrate the life and the time of uMama uSisulu, we ought to be very honest in our analysis. Otherwise sawfana namadada, singene emanzini si dry siphume si dry, aphuma umuntu apha esithi kahle kahle besiyokwenza ntoni na kulento kaMama uSisulu. uMama uSisulu wasishiya kodwa nanamhlanje asikukhohlwa ukuthetha ngaye because we can relate with the struggles of uMama uSisulu, because what they fought for at the time, it is what we are faced with today. It might come in different forms. Today we talk of GBV, we talk of teenage pregnancy. I am not sure whether when a 10-year-old child impregnated by the father, uncle, azabe pregnant okanye utishara esikolweni, whether do we still call it a teenage pregnancy of a girl at the age of 10 or 9 years. What we talk about, comrades, it's not something that we're thumb-sucking. It is happening. It has been proven through research in Eastern Cape and in KZN. And we must rise up, comrades, as women. Those male counterparts, whether you are a comrade or not, stop abusing women in a working environment. Stop using your masculinity to force us to do things that we are not comfortable to do. Find a way to have control over your feelings. Monday, last week, siku celebration ye 100 years comrade TK. Upresident uyithethile lento ibhlungu injalo. Wathi bantu abangodada upresident weANC, can you start learning to ba nithi zip up? Nibavalo ziphu ngoba kuyabonakala baba problematic. But at some point, comrades, as we talk about the life and the time of uMama uSisulu, we must be able nathi to find a way ukuthi if babe machile ngo1956, Tina, what is it that we can do better to fight against our own struggles? Whether it comes in a form of a GBV, no one else except our unity as women that can assist out of the situation. So, with that, comrades, as I close, I want to encourage all of you that we must not disappoint uMama uSisulu. Xa ifamily yakhe around us, or when the family is within their comfort space, they must still find it comfortable to align themselves with the ANC and its leagues. They must not feel ashamed and embarrassed by us and by our own deeds, because we have failed the NDR towards the National Democratic Society. Mhlamba ni understand comrade uba makuthiwa funeka siphethe lantoni. Land a National Democratic Revolution, forget about it if you don't have a state power. You will be rendered useless if you don't have the state power. It is the state power that we must use as a vehicle for us to realize the implementation of the NDR so that siyofika class society, the National Democratic. Failure to do that, we will then be a disgrace. Kuthiwa ke mabese beshonile ikhona ihope yoba ngathi kungadityanwa ngaphesheya kwelalizwe when they've passed on. Those that maybe they went there okanye as they were sleeping and they dream ukuthi what's happening there, but ingathi akhona ama branch ANC nawe Women's League that side. So you must work on your consciousness so that when you even passed on, sikwazi ukufakaza ngawe ukuthi wena yino yenzile, ngoba we are able ukufakaza ngemisebenzi eyenziwe ngomama uSisulu. Umama uSisulu ke did not allow uba angabikho visible, alide behind utata uSisulu. She made it a point ukuthi was utata uSisulu a leader, naye she becomes a leader in her own right. Must liberate abantu abangomama. And I repeat, the time is now. The future is ours. The future is female. We can only realize that reality when we start working the ground. As we are encouraged to go to branches and rebuild the structures of the ANC and that of the leagues, let's do that intentionally and deliberate in ensuring that ultimately when we elect the PEC members, we start showing there the power that we have as women of the ANC by leading those structures. And ultimately, the future is female will then be realized. We will forever talk about President Ongumama in the ANC. It will forever remain as a talk show unless we start from our branches, the lower structures. We change the status quo. And only then, that nationally, we will get what we want. Ninga Spanish again is charge, Comrade TK. Ayikavulwa i-succession debate, nathi asikho kuyo. Asika ikali la debate, it's not opened, Comrade Nani, you know. It is still too soon and early. In fact, we don't agree with the slates, Comrade Ufipi, that we see zitrenda ku social media. Asiyithandi lanto yezazi late, kodwa besithi as we reflect kwi past yethu and looking back to what uMama uSisulu did for us during ixesha lakhe lophila to be where we are today and to be able to plan and understand ukuthi yini ekufuneka siyenzile moving forward. We needed to also talk about lento yale leadership, kodwa sizayilinda nizawufika sinilindile. Amandla, amandla, gama lamakhosikazi malibongwe, wathinto mama, amandla. Sifuni woman on top, iyo sifuni woman on top, 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 sifuni woman on Niabasabana, Niabasabana. Thank you very much, SG. Indeed, women will be on top. Over to yourself, Comrade.
We have indeed heard the young lions of the Women's League speak. Can we give another round of applause for a very inspiring reflection about the lessons that Master Sisulu have given to us. in terms of her life, her leadership, but also the issues that she fought for. And Comrade SG, I was just thinking, and Comrade TK, as you were delivering your lecture, that in fact you're doing what the ANC constitution say the Women's League must do. The constitution say that the ANC Women's League must firstly fight for women's rights inside and outside the ANC. So it's not just in society, it's also inside the ANC. The Constitution also say that the Women's League must fight for advanced gender equality in society as well as in the organization. So you were just implementing the Constitution, Comrade SG. Well done. Comrades, we're nearing the end of our program. We're now going to have the cake cutting by Comrade TK, by Comrade SG, Comrade TK, Comrade Teliswe. I'll ask them together with the family members to come forward and cut the cake. We're not going to eat the cake. They're going to donate the cake after cutting it. But if you can just take your place, Comrade SG, Comrade TK, Comrade Teliswe, to just cut the cake. And we will then sing happy birthday to Ma Sisulu and to show her that we remember her and we will remember her for the next 100 years. Thank you, comrades. Comrades, we're now going to Amandla. Okay, comrades, we're now going to have the vote of thanks by the Joburg ANC Regional Deputy Chairperson. You know, when chairpersons are not here, deputize Comrade Mota. Over to you to just do a vote of thanks. Thank you, comrades.
Mandla. Viva ANC, viva. Malibongwe. Thanks very much, Comrade Phoebe, to recognize the entire leadership of the ANC Women's League, led by its Secretary General. I will be brief and short. Let's give another round of applause in terms of this memorial lecture. A well-taught and well-presented memorial lecture. In fact, this is part of renewal. In fact, Umama Sisulu kubusaphila manje will have characterized and boldly confronted these social ills as khona emphakathini wakithi, because we must be able to characterize those, because they seek to undermine these gains that we have achieved since from 1994. These barbaric killings of our own people, gender-based violence, eyenziwa kakhulukazi yithu abodada. Ngoba abomama akusibo ababulala abantu, kodwa abodada. We are saying we need to be able to change so that we really build a society esisha. But also ndithethelele i-Gauteng leadership. I think SGD will have complied. If you look at legislature, kuninzi abomama mongabheka i-legislature Naku executive kuninzi abomama. Angithi we need to be able to say we exactly they are doing what